Washington Journal continues.
Heritage Foundation Deputy Director for Economic Policy Nick Loris back at our desk for a discussion about the economics of energy and environmental policy. You start with defining what a green job is.
Yeah, that's tricky in and of itself, honestly. When the Obama administration was defining green jobs to inflate the numbers, they included everything from trash collectors to people who worked at Goodwill because they were involved in the industries of reusing, recycling. I think conventionally more people talk about the green energy economy and what does that look like. So the folks who are installing wind turbines and solar panels, working on geothermal and battery storage. So the numbers all over the place are mixed. I think what I would like to see from a green energy economy is one that continues to drive innovation forward and doesn't rely on government subsidies.
Is there a sense of right now of what the green economy, the green energy economy, what it's comparable to in terms of numbers of workers or number of jobs created?
Yeah, it's difficult to say based on which numbers you actually use. I think compared to some other emerging industries that they're certainly growing and that's great. You know, if you look at some of the states where you have more competitive electricity markets, for instance, people are demanding more renewable power and businesses are demanding to use 100% renewables. And that demand is driving production. And that's ultimately what we want to see. We want to see competition among these energy sources when they are being subsidized through grant programs or through targeted tax credits. That's just allocating resources and subsidizing jobs, which takes resources away from other sectors, potentially more productive sectors of the economy. So that's not actually creating value and creating growth. It's shifting it to politically preferred sectors of the economy, which doesn't really do us any good. It only helps the people who are lobbying to get those handouts and benefiting from them.
In this election cycle, several of the Democratic candidates are calling for moving towards a net zero emissions economy in the next 20 or 50 years. How much more would the green economy have to grow to achieve those targets?
Pretty significantly. If you look at where our electricity comes from, how we get from point A to point B for our vehicles, 80% of our energy needs are met through conventional fuels in coal, oil, and natural gas. And so if you have 80% of our needs, 80% of the world's energy needs coming from these affordable, reliable energy sources, you're going to need policies that tax and regulate these sources out of existence. Even if the costs are coming down and they're becoming more cost competitive with conventional sources of energy, it's still going to take a lot to shift to net zero economy.
Has anybody tried to estimate what that cost would be, and is it less than the estimates on the cost of climate change in the next 20 or 30 years?
From every estimate that I've seen, from peer-reviewed literature coming out of MIT, from things that we've produced at the Heritage Foundation, the American Action Forum has looked at the cost of the Green New Deal. It seems as if the costs of these policies are going to outweigh both the benefits in terms of climate reduction, but also any type of costs from climate change itself. So you're talking about multiple trillions of dollars across the economy, because energy is such a critical component of everything we make and do, that when you force higher energy prices on American consumers and businesses, you're not just paying more for your electricity or paying more at the pump, you're paying more for food, for healthcare, for education, and that has huge ripple effects throughout the economy.
Nick Loris.